To turn really interesting ideas and fledgling technologies into solutions that can continue to be utilized for years, it requires a lot of discipline, an innovative culture and a vision to continuously create something new. We, at TechMahindra's Makers Lab, are just setting new trends by innovating.
Makers Lab was essentially started so that we could have an R&D place within TechM where TechMighties can actually work with the cutting edge technologies, but also create accelerators and IPs and frameworks which would help our customers at the end.
With a vision of create, simplify, and connect, our innovators are building innovative competencies by our own.
The whole vision was, how do we connect with people? And when we talk about people, whether it's own employees, whether it is customer or the customer's end customer, which we call as the consumer, and how do we simplify their lives by creating experiences?
The focus remains on mobility, AI and machine learning, augmented and virtual reality, IoT and robotics.
Makers Lab also connects with a lot of academia around the world, where we get a lot of trainees from across the world as well as from colleges who join us and work for some of the projects that we do. Also, Makers Lab connects as a co-innovation platform with our customers, where you see that for a regional purposes or for a geographical base of a customer, there are certain problems and certain issues with a certain geography and a customer faces at certain point. Now, Makers Lab also sets up as a co-innovation lab or a co-innovation space with its customer, where it can solve some of those issues.
TechMahindra's Makers Lab has developed few business innovations already, and yes, they are unique in their own way. Let's start with Home Intelligence Robot, also known as Hero.
The idea behind Hero was it started off as a very simple telepresence robot. So I'm not in the lab and I want to connect with someone. I can actually dial it into the robot and I can move the robot from wherever I am and can meet with people or even talk to them. Now that idea got extended where we actually built up a small little healthcare unit and we planted it on Hero so that we can take emergency medical records of our patients. So it becomes more of a wellness agent in the house. It can take your blood pressure, temperature, etc. It can even guide you whether you have to take medications, etc. And that is what won us an award.
Now let's talk about Entellio, the next generation self-learning, NLP, AI, ML-based enterprise.
Machine learning and AI, post 2015 and 16, we saw that everybody was creating bots. So we went around, studying what different people do, what are the different organizations that are building different bots. And we thought of that there are certain challenges with all the bots around the world. Can we cater them with one of our own IPs or frameworks? So that's where we built our own IP called Entellio. Now the word Entellio in itself means enterprise intelligence input output. But what does it really do? So one of the challenges that we found in a lot of bot frameworks which create bots was that people wanted to have technical knowledge. They wanted to understand what is an intent and an entity. Now, if you're not from the natural language processing world, where this happens very naturally, for a manager or for a gentleman or a guy who wants to create a bot for himself, he doesn't know what an intent and entity is. Now, that's the first feature of Entellio. Number two, we also found out that for a bot, it has to have different channels to get connected to. So now Entellio can be worked across from a mobile phone that we've given SDKs, can be worked across from the web, can even be worked across from different social media channels. So third feature of Entellio is it also is a conversational browsing agent on the website. By talking in natural language to a bot, the bot also takes care of redirecting pages, finding out pages and getting to a specific section. Number four was we also wanted Entellio to be state-of-the-art in machine learning and AI, and we have utilized some of the state-of-the-art algorithms like word to vector, etc. And it's completely built on open source. It has the underlying stack is Python for Entellio, and it's completely built, manufactured by people in Makers Lab, and it's a TechMahindra.
Where Entellio is initiated to transform the business operations and processes for enterprises, Makers Lab came up with something to transform the retail management too, with the solution called X-Retail.
So X-Retail was built up as a pluggable open source kind of a framework which any retailer could use to combine the effects of a brick and click or a brick and mortar under the same framework or or paraphernalia. So X-Retail features, we can do in-store positioning, number one, with beacons. Number two, X-Retail allows you, to have augmented reality view of some of the, some of the assets that you have in the store. Now, in some geographical areas, we found out that you really don't need to display devices, for want of better reasons. They only wanted to show an augmented view of those devices. X-Retail has built in that feature. Number three, when somebody visits a retail store, he also, and retail stores of the future are going to be huge spaces which are built up in 2500 square footage of areas. You cannot visit each and every section of the store. So now, can you have some kind of a video wall where people can engage with, can buy it, and have a cartless or a queueless shopping kind of an experience? That's also built in as number three feature of retail store. Number four was, with the world changing and with boundaries, shifting across the borders, you also have people who are buying online, but they also want to pick up their stuff in store. So it's a concept called BOPIS in retail journey. That's built into retail store in X-Retail by default.
Beyond these, Makers Lab is still working on few unique solutions to cater wider markets with its innovation. At Makers Lab, a team of thinkers, illustrators, animators, technology specialists, and leaders, in short, innovators of the future, come together to build smart machines of the future.
Hello, I'm Reva Chaube. I work in AI division in Makers Lab.
Hi, I'm Saket, Technical Architect in Makers Lab. I graduated from the University of Pennsylvania in Computer Networks and Mathematics. I lead AI COE in the lab.
Hi, I'm Rajat. I'm a gamer turned developer. I like to change the way you look at the world using augmented and virtual reality.
Hi, I'm Richa Soni and I'm working on a very cool interpreter which is based on natural language processing.
Hi, I'm Riya Prajapati. I'm working in Makers Lab on Intelio.
Hi, my name is Meghraj and I lead the strategy at Makers Lab. For us, the strategy transpires into three things: run better, change faster, grow greater.
Hi, they call me Roboram. I joined the lab from DRDO.
Fueled with numerous ideas, Makers Lab is continuously experimenting new technological solutions for the world every other day.
For me, Makers Lab means Innovation Center of TechMahindra.
For me, working at the lab means to perpetuate my curiosity.
And Makers Lab means for me is to freedom of expressions.
For me, working in Makers Lab is thinking out of the box every day.
For me, working with the Makers Lab means giving my expression wings.
For me, the lab means how do we meld man and machine together.
For me and my team, Makers Lab is all about solving customer problems and solutions.
For me, the lab means a bold approach towards technology. The lab means hunger for doing more. The lab means empathy or being empathetic to a consumer's need. And the lab means oodles of inspiration for our tech mighties as well as for our customers to solve some of the bigger challenges that the end consumers are facing. Thank you.